allow me to take you back to 2006. The PS2 era is coming to a close. The PS3 launches that November. Yet somewhere in a tiny apartment in Random City, USA, there's me, a 5-year-old kid at the start of a hobby that will last him a lifetime. My family would never buy a PS3. In fact, we wouldn't upgrade consoles until about 2008 with the release of GTA 4. But that's another story. This video is about the genre of games I fell in love with as a child. Covert stealth. And now to go a little bit off script, because I plan to script this video, but I think it'll be a lot better, just sort of free flow. Anyways, Splinter Cell and Tenchu were definitely my most played games as a child. I remember Splinter Cell, specifically going through like the levels of Splinter Cell was like an entire family event, because it would take us hours upon hours, or it felt like that at least. I don't know, I was like 5, whatever, and we'd be doing our best to try and pass these levels without being like, mostly without failing, because some levels would be like, oh, Jimmy from across the street saw you for like 2 seconds, game over. So it'd be the 3 of us, daytime, nighttime, usually nighttime to be honest, for about an hour or 2, stuck on one level, not being able to find an extraction point. And then we didn't have a memory card either, so we got very familiar with these levels. Very. I remember my favorite level was the prison level, because it was a prison level in Double Agent, let me be specific. Because, I don't know, it was different. It was a different environment. Usually playing through Splinter Cell, you're in like office buildings or like oil rigs and military bases and whatnot, but not having any gear, and then a completely new environment as well, that was really interesting to me. But what I like the most about Tenchu and Splinter Cell, well, I'll go Splinter Cell first, is the light and sound meters. That's what I want out of a stealth game. I want to know how visible and how quiet I am when I move, right? For me, like, I know a lot of people say, I guess you could say like the modern stealth game, for instance, or the closest thing to like an old school stealth game you had for a while is the Hitman games, but that's not the kind of stealth I'm really into. I like the sneaking around in the dark. Where's the shadows? Where's, I want to be silent. And I think Tenchu is sort of like, for me at least, I always thought of it as a medieval Japanese kind of Splinter Cell, because it has the same light and sound mechanics, not as refined, but very, very similar. And I know you might be thinking, wait a minute, you said Japanese Splinter Cell. What about Metal Gear Solid? Here's the thing. I did not know Metal Gear Solid existed until 2015, whenever the Phantom Pain came out. And I'll get to that in a second. The Phantom Pain is a great game. I love that game. To me, in my opinion, it is probably the last real stealth game we faced. It's the best stealth game of all time. Not my preferred like environment, I guess, or setting, because like I said, I was really into Tenchu. I like ninjas, swords, and shit like that, right? But mechanic wise and like everything else, the Phantom Pain is amazing. Let's just go down a list actually of how many stealth games specifically we had in 2006 at the latest. I remember there was like 7 Tenchu games, 3 Metal Gear Solids, like 5 Hitmans, Shinobi-Do, and what else? Oh, like 5 Splinter Cells, 5 or 6 Splinter Cells on like multiple consoles. And I think personally, what derailed the stealth game genre is the emergence of the hack and slash, Style Meter, Devil May Cry, God of War type games. And I'll tell you why. Because I lived through this. I remember I was like, what, 2nd grade? I don't know. Whenever God of War, whenever the first time I ever saw God of War, it was some kid playing 2 or 3 on the PSP, whichever one is on the PSP. And I was like, oh, that's dope. But I've never seen that before. But if you pay attention to when those games like blew up for real, that's when they stopped making stealth games, because everybody wanted to play hack and slash Bayonetta. Everybody wanted to be real cool with it, which that's no problem. But the problem I have with the game industry right now is that whenever a new trend comes, they kill entire genres of games or like styles or whatever, right? It's weird, because I think with Batman, like Arkham Batman, whenever that released, of course, it's kind of a stealth game. It's like the next generation of stealth games, kind of like Batman Arkham. Dishonored is great. Dishonored has good stealth mechanics, but it's not specifically a stealth game. You know, it's not like you have to be stealthy, which I think is okay. That's fine. I like when newer games that do give you the option to be stealthy or like to just play however you want to. I don't like for the stealth to be tacked on, because a lot of the time it's completely tacked on or like unfinished. But Dishonored was a complete full experience, and I love that. Back to Arkham. Arkham is more of an action game to me. Of course, they have like stealth sections with the Predator arenas, but that's really it. They have like 6 of those per game, and they are fun. Don't get me wrong, they are very fun. I spent hours playing the Arkham Asylum demo in just the Predator section, right? But I want more. The children thirst for stealth. We thirst to sneak around in the dark. But yeah, other than Arkham Batman, my phone's ringing. Spam call, anyways. Yeah, other than Arkham Batman, there's not really. Well, Arkham stopped dropping in like 2015. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah. So there hasn't been any real stealth games released since 2015. I know Ghost of Tsushima is out, but the stealth in that game is very, very, very half-baked. And I've played that game 6 times, back to back to back. Because I like it. It's a really good game. But the stealth just is subpar. You know, you can have fun. You can roll around, you can sneak, you can be in the dark, but that's the issue actually. Let me get on this. I don't like that stealth in video games has been pinned down and squished into go hide in these bushes real quick until this guard walks away. I don't want to hide in the bushes. I want to be on the ceiling, hanging from the ceiling. I want to be on the rooftops. I want to be in the shadows. I want to have a sound meter. I want to go prone and crawl. I want to be right next to the person and they can't see me because I'm just that stealthy, because stealthy is healthy. Shout out Chris Move. You feel me? That kind of vibe. I haven't played Ghost of Yotei yet, so I don't know how that stealth is. I doubt it's much better because it looks like it's like a classic kind of sequel where the gameplay is improved, but not by leaps and bounds. You know, it's a steady, gradual climb. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed for a second, because I know Assassin's Creed used to be marketed as a stealth game a little bit, and let's get it clear for a second, okay? I, for the longest time, was a massive Assassin's Creed fan. Assassin's Creed was by far my most played game from the time I was like, 9 to like 15. I played 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, 4, Freedom Cry, Unity, Syndicate, Origins, the one with Shay Cormac, what's that called? I don't know, the one where he plays with Templar. I played Odyssey, Valhalla, the one in Arabia with Basim. I don't know what that game's called. I've played all of them except for the one that just came out, the Japanese one. And I've played all of those multiple times over. There's not an Assassin's Creed game I haven't played at least 5 times. That's just how I play games. But anyways, those games, at least the like original 7, had quote unquote social stealth mechanics. And I'll be honest, they barely worked. They weren't useful like ever. Especially not in missions. They weren't built into missions very well. Like there was never a time, maybe like once or twice, where you could go into a crowd, walk up to your target, and assassinate them like that. I remember in Brotherhood, there was a mission where you could assassinate, not the Pope, some dude. He was naked, butt naked, in a hat. And you could sit on the bench and assassinate him like that, but that was literally the one time. Literally. If you want to do social stealth in those games, you have to do it in free roam. Just cool, but that's like very half-baked. Social stealth actually didn't get good in Assassin's Creed until Syndicate. And I think that game has the best stealth out of the series. But that was like 12 games in. And then they completely did away with it after that. And then we went to Origins where there was 0 stealth except for, hey, go hide in the bushes. Right? Which is kind of lame. Then you had Odyssey, which was the same vibe, except for even worse now because in Origins, the enemies had health bars that were pretty, exaggerated, but they had New Game Plus where you could play the full game fully leveled up, right? And it made it sort of like the classic experience a little bit. But in Odyssey, I don't know what was going on. Dude, you can go hide in the bushes if you want to, but you wasn't going to one-shot assassinate any enemies at all. You was just there for the sake of being there. You could do an assassination move and have to do it 6 times before somebody died, and you'd be caught. Like, it was ridiculous. Valhalla, they brought back the social stealth, but in the worst, most abysmal way you could imagine. Like, It was completely. I don't know how you half bake a half baked system. Like, it was already mid to begin with, and then they took it away, brought it back, and midded the mid. How do you mid? Like, what? Anyways, off of Assassin's Creed. Other than, let's think about it for a second. Let's think about it. Are there fully built stealth games right now? No. I'm thinking on it. Other than Hitman, which is still getting updates, and that's not even the kind of stealth I'm really talking about for real, but it's way better social stealth than Assassin's Creed ever was. It's a better Assassin's Creed than Assassin's Creed. Let's talk about that actually. Why is Hitman a better Assassin's Creed than Assassin's Creed? The core philosophy that Assassin's Creed was built on was social stealth. You were supposed to be a person there to kill a target or multiple targets, and nobody was supposed to know you were there. Not because you were crouching in the darkness and walking around real quiet and all stealthy. You were just a dude in the crowd, literally the gray man, right? You're supposed to just be a dude, and that was even built into the costume design of the characters. You remember Altair's robes, or his outfit, whatever you want to call it. It was literally just a monk robe with a sword and like a gauntlet. And then Ezio, specifically Assassin's Creed 2 Ezio. Let's talk about that. I really like his outfit because it looks like something a rich dude in 1400s Italy would wear. If you look into the fashion of the time, those dudes were hella flamboyant. Ezio was a flamboyant ass dude. He was dressed flamboyant as hell. His fit was crazy. But anyways, the gameplay was far more action based than stealth. It gave you the illusion that you were doing something stealthy. Whole time you was running around, feet slapping the ground hella hard, clack, 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 clack. Jump off the rooftop in front of the crowd, stab dude, walk away, right? Whereas Hitman, you can literally talk to your targets and they don't know you're there for them. Be dressed up in any way you want to because you're stealing the people around the target's outfits, and he thinks you're just supposed to be. Everybody thinks you're supposed to be there. That's the whole point. You're just a dude in the crowd dressed up like everybody else. And then the extractions. You extract so smoothly, you just walk away. I don't know who makes Hitman. I don't know what developer it is, but I think they should definitely give Assassin's Creed a shot if Ubisoft ever lets them somehow. I don't know how, but I'd like to see that. Maybe some developers can go over and, do their thing. But anyways, I think that'll end the Yap session for now.